5.
I feel like we have enough fodder for an opening there.
Oh, yeah. We should say...
The Poodoo.
I'm former movie trivia schmodown singles champion Marisol McKee, aka Lady Justice.
And I'm former movie trivia schmodown singles champion Adam the Coyote Collins.
Well, 97th Oscars officially wrapped. And man, thank God it did. I mean, who has time for all those award speeches? We had places to be last night.
Yeah, apparently we tuned into the Oscars to not see the Oscars. No, seriously, there was so much I liked about this show, and we'll get into it.
I feel like the Oscars has been on this kind of recovery route post-pandemic.
Bouncing back.
Really hit the importance of going to the movies. Right. And I feel that pressure in every Oscars telecast.
I think one of the major things this year's Oscars had going for it were the crop of nominees. I really enjoyed the vast majority of these movies. There was nothing that stuck out that I was like, oh, bother, I don't want to see that.
Again, proving how much of a roller coaster the awards season, the trajectory has been all over the place. It's been like a great game of basketball. Like some movies go on a run and then some go on a cold streak, and then at the last second one comes in with a buzzer beater. It was really thrilling end to the awards season. Whew, what a way to start it off. I was bawling 5 minutes into the opening when they had Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande get up and do the Wizard of Oz, Wiz, Wicked medley. That was a phenomenal, soul-rousing way to start the show. With you and I defying gravity. Two of the greatest voices of their generations right there, reminding us of our favorite things about the Wicked movie. I was a wreck. Just saying.
I really love the choice to pick Conan O'Brien for this year's host. I spoke to that on our pre-Oscars show, and I think he really delivered, especially in his monologue. My biggest gripe is honestly he didn't get enough stage time, and I know it's not a variety show for Conan O'Brien.
Did his respectable shtick, got the jokes in, made us laugh. They were pretty consistent and funny, and then brought it home and reminded us all why the film industry matters, why this art form matters, and why it will endure.
So yes, even in the face of terrible wildfires and divisive politics, the work, which is what this is about, the work continues.
Just a quick shout out to John Lithgow looking disappointed. One of my favorite bits that I wish they had kept going the whole night. Commit to the bit. Lithgow did.
This was another year where the Oscars nailed all the key aspects of the formula, executed them well. Really happy to see that. Presenter bits were consistently funny. Loved the bit and production design with Ben Stiller. And the malfunctioning stage, but enough with the cutting off the recipients.
Very frustrating.
This is getting so old at this point, and I am so tired of that being the scapegoat for why the shows are going on too long. It's so disingenuous to go on about how this is the night to honor the craftsmen and the people you don't see and give them their moment.
A lot of the value of the Oscars isn't just during the live broadcast, it's the replay, it's the clip outs.
Those individual moments are the ones that are going to last forever, so don't truncate them. Coleman didn't win, but glad to see he was having fun no matter what, keeping that party alive. That man was on his feet multiple times throughout the night.
Also, as just a fan of red suits and tuxes, his was gorgeous, but he always looks amazing. His fashion's always been on point.
You know I'm a champion of dudes elevating their fashion beyond the simple black tux, and that was out again this year. Well done, boys. Well done.
So In Memoriam, by default, very important every year. They led with Gene Hackman, which is no surprise. The musical choice was a little foreboding this year. It felt like we were at maybe a devilish mass. I don't know.
I mean, it was Requiem.
Well, there's a lot of things that are Requiem, okay? It doesn't mean they're all suitable for mourning the dead. That one sounded like we were inviting them back with wings and fangs. I'm sorry. It was a little intense. They're like, well, it's either got to be this or O Fortuna. I don't know. Like,
still somehow In Memoriam just seems to be the one thing you can't get right.
You'd think they would focus group the In Memoriam thing, though, and just get the damn names on there that need to be mentioned. I don't understand why it's so damn hard.
Next year, Oscars 2026, Adam Collins, producer credit for In Memoriam. Look for it.
I will check the actual coroner reports and make sure you get your shit right.
Tell him, baby.
Sorry for all the swearing.
We didn't get a specific David Lynch tribute in the show beyond the Memoriam, but Isabella Rossellini did provide one of the most subtle and tender homages by wearing her blue velvet dress to the Oscars.
Yes, I thought that was a lovely touch. I peeped it right away.
Classy lady.
Yeah.
It was a nice touch to see those extra testimonials granted to the categories beyond the acting categories that we don't typically see receive such attention, and voices from the artists themselves and insight. That was nice. The big winner of the night was Anora.
Yeah, I'd say
5 wins for Anora. 5 out of the 6 categories it was nominated for: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Editing, and Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 went to The Brutalist. Yay. Best Actor, Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Best Cinematography and Best Score. And then Wicked and Amelia Perez both got 2.
Big old zilch for my boy Orlock, but it's okay. Nominations still matter in my heart.
When Paul Tazwell won for Best Costume Designer for Wicked, I had no idea that he was the first Black man to ever win that award.
It's a really, really cool benchmark.
Was a surprising bit of an emotional history lesson. I didn't know we were going to get that night.
For sure.
Flow won Best Animated Feature. Fun surprise. One of the great wins yet again for the night for independent film and unconventional animation. Way to go, Latvia. Your move, Estonia.
Yeah, DreamWorks is going to be okay.
Conclave did pull off adapted screenplay, which was the most surefire thing we thought it was going to win.
Not a huge
that night,
surprise,
yeah.
but also I was really banking on it at that point because I wanted some recognition for Conclave.
It
At that
deserved
point, Anora was picking up some steam.
The absolute strength of that film is how it respects both sides of faith,
Mhm.
whether you're completely secular or completely devout. And that faith at its best can be a vessel to champion progress.
For sure. And I think that's what's really interesting and subtle about Conclave is it's a movie also about accountability to each other and holding people accountable and letting others know when someone shouldn't be a candidate. Another film that I'm glad did not go home empty-handed, The Substance.
Yes.
My God, what a cool, practically presented movie.
Yeah.
It's all real, folks. All of it. That really happened to me more. That's how good the makeup. We've seen things like Bram Stoker's Dracula win for this in the past. So horror is not unprecedented in this category at all.
Right.
But it still keeps it in the fight. It keeps it on the map. They're not gimmicky makeup effects. They are immersive makeup effects. They take you away. And in the case of The Substance, they take me to a place I really wanted to get away from.
Every year, viewers are looking for the most passionate, intense Oscar speech because that's where the human connection is from this award shows more than anything else. And Zoe Saldana was that one this year.
Zoe Saldana represented the film with class and grace through the entire award season, just like her character elevated everyone and what they were going through in the movie.
With just completely earnest testament to who she is, where she's come from, and how hard she's worked.
I am a proud child of immigrant parents with dreams and dignity and hardworking hands.
All right, Brutalist, 3. 3 big ones, too.
And I'm so here for the Outcast Kid energy that Daniel Blumberg brought up to stage when he accepted his Best Score Oscar.
What a beautiful piece of work. It's obvious the guy's not used to public speaking, but it worked to his credit.
But it is refreshing to see a side of the people who aren't in the limelight and being reminded of their normalcy. My close personal friend Adrian Brody did it, as I'd hoped he would, and as a lot of people believed he would. Well, then I love that man, but also get to the point.
I will really try and be as brief as possible. I will be brief. I will not be egregious, I promise.
And then when they tried to make it not a speech, he just said, no, it's going to keep being a speech.
Not going to lie. Felt a little cheated that he didn't kiss Cillian Murphy.
It was right there.
Right there.
Anora
surprised me in one sense because it came back from behind in a way. It came out early in the year.
Yeah.
But I got to give them credit. Neon did a hell of a job putting it back out there and getting the chatter up again.
When Sean Baker won for editing was a one I didn't think it would pull off. And when it did over Conclave and The Brutalist, I was like, okay, then this is going to tilt its direction.
Both this and The Brutalist were lower budget films. So to see them flourish this way is incredibly inspiring. With Anora specifically, what is so remarkable is he leads with his heart, but he also has such an eye with the camera. And nothing's more independent than winning for writing, editing, and directing a movie yourself. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Best Picture. The only thing that was a mystery for me was actress.
And the Oscar goes to Mikey Madison.
And I have to be completely honest. I think Honora's a good movie, but when it comes to acting, I wanted Demi Moore to win.
Absolutely. She had the hearts of a lot of the public and the voters going into this. And that doesn't mean that a person deserves to win just on those merits alone. But I genuinely think that her performance, respectively to their movies, I think that Demi Moore's performance in The Substance was more of an indictment and a statement about the reflective industry than Honora necessarily was about its respective subject matter. I think Mikey Madison was great in that movie. I commended her performance before.
Emotionally honest, lovely, deserved of a nomination. And Demi Moore did something really, really special with The Substance. Obviously, it's a comment on her own career of sorts, but the industry at large. And a win for her at this level with an Oscar, for me, would have been a celebration and a way of moving beyond some of those sentiments. Not that her losing to Mikey Madison is setting us back 20 years.
No.
And Demi Moore would be the first person to probably call bullshit on that, because she's so poised, elegant, and articulate. And I love hearing her speak from a point of such wisdom. But we're not mad at you, Mikey.
We're not. You were great.
A dream come true. I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow.
Independent film for the win. That is certainly one of the biggest narrative takeaways from the night, thanks to the work of Sean Baker and his team.
Where did we fall in love with the movies? At the movie theater. It's a communal experience you simply don't get at home.
And I would appreciate what Sean Baker said about making sure you go to the theaters. I really appreciate that sentiment. You also need to push big studios for taking those creative and storytelling risks. The film industry will not survive on just making Transformers 10. It won't. And instead of it becoming a further divide between these giant blockbuster pictures and independent cinema having to be our champion that not a lot of people see, I want us to get back towards that middle ground where the mid-level studio film and the big budget studio film are creating these critically revered films that are pulling big awards at the end of the year. That's going to be the sweet spot again.
The key is distribution.
Yes.
Because independent film is going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
It's all about finding it and giving it daylight. And that's what a lot of the studios that won big this year did right. And so you have things like Flow, The Substance, The Brutalist, and Honora, which are all independent efforts in the truest form, even A Real Pain, because if you just dump them onto a streaming service, they're going to get lost in the mix. You have to build the word of mouth in the theater, to your point. And then by the time they do arrive on streaming, those of us who are catching up with them are actually aware of them.
Yep.
All in all, entertaining show.
There's always going to be something to nitpick, but this is now the second year in a row. We're adhering to the formula pretty soundly.
We're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Oscars definitely are.
And once they hire us to be the producers, it'll be perfect. Yeah.
Problems are over.
Yeah. You can find us at Champs on Film on Twitter, Instagram, right here on YouTube, of course, and look us up on Letterboxd individually and as a team. I love movies. I love the Oscars. I love you.
I want to dance like Coleman. I need some moves like that, brother.
Ease on down the road.